I'm Doc Holliday, and this video will show you how to drive to the southern terminus of the Continental Divide. It's not easy to get here. I stopped several border control cars, and they couldn't even tell me how to do it. I stumbled around and finally figured it out on my own. It's a rough road and requires a high ground clearance vehicle, preferably with four-wheel drive. First, a geography lesson. The Continental Divide southern terminus occurs at a point in the very southwest of New Mexico where the Mexico-U.S. border jogs north and south. It's at approximately 4,312 feet of elevation. I'm driving the Continental Divide from south to north on roads, not the trail. I'm driving a F-250 truck with a four-wheel camper and a trailer, which I have a boat in when I get to Montana and Colorado to fish from. I used Gaia GPS navigation system. This journey begins very early morning at sunrise from Lordsburg, New Mexico, east on I-10 to 146 south toward the town of Hachita. Traveling south on 146 as the sun was rising, I arrived at the small town of Hachita. Once you reach Hachita, you'll turn left on 9 and come to a historical monument that'll explain that Hachita was the staging area to go after Pancho Villa in 1916. About 100 or 200 yards past this historical marker on the very edge of town, you'll turn right and travel south on US. At the gas station, I talked to a young man named Jeff, who has mountain biked the whole Continental Divide in a race from Whistler, Canada, back to here, and is very knowledgeable. Once traveling south on 81, at mile marker 34.5, in other words, about a half a mile past mile marker 35, traveling south, you'll want to turn left. It's only about a 5-minute ride, and you're going to turn left right here onto Hatchet Road over this cattle guard. Stay left, follow the road, only about, 2 miles, short distance, and you'll come to Commodore Road. Then you'll come to a fork in the road where you'll see a sign saying Commodore Road. You'll want to turn right and literally follow Commodore Road all the way to the southern terminus of the Continental Divide Trail. After turning right on Commodore Road and following that road several other turns with nowhere else to make a mistake, I'd say about 15 minutes, I came to a real sandy area before a four-way intersection. It's the only area I applied four-wheel drive. I probably could have done well with without four-wheel drive, but decided to be safe rather than sorry. When you get to the four-way intersection, turn left, keep following Commodore Road. I don't know why they named it Commodore. There's no yacht clubs or Navy installations anywhere nearby that I know of. At any rate, you'll start paralleling the mountains and the Continental Divide Trail, which is uptight with the base of those mountains. And there are several areas where the dozer has pushed parking spaces off to the right. I camped here, not because I needed to. I could easily get in and out in a day, but I wanted to. I had a amazing night camping here. There was absolutely not a breath of wind, which I think is highly unusual. It certainly wasn't the case on my way out. The night was just completely still. There wasn't a sound. I didn't hear a coyote. I didn't hear any sound whatsoever. It was just amazing. The next morning, actually, I got up before morning and before sunrise and set up my camera to do this time lapse of sunrise. Afterwards, I prepared a real nice breakfast, omelet and tomatoes, cream cheese omelet, spinach, sausage, and good old AeroPress coffee. If you camp and haven't used an AeroPress, you need to do that. Then early morning, I continued on my journey from where I camped. And you can see it here. There's like a hairpin turn at the bottom. It's a little technical. And then you eventually arrive at an agricultural pump station. I'm not including a lot of the road in, but on the way out, I followed my progress with the drone, and I'll comment more on the terrain and type of vehicle and fuel mileage and so forth. This is the agricultural station. My truck's pointed the opposite direction of what you'll come in here. You're going to take the fork on the right and continue on south, paralleling the Mexico border. Note the Continental Divide Trail is off on your right as you proceed south. And this road's pretty good. The last 4 miles of the road is a bit technical. And then at the border, you're going to turn left and come up to the Continental Divide. This is the last leg traveling north. And this road isn't real great. As opposed to the Mexican road paralleling the other side of the fence line here, which is the border. I swear to God, two semis could do 60 miles an hour going each way at the same time. I don't know why we can't at least invest in a road that'll allow our border patrol to travel easily and swiftly. At any rate, here we are, arriving at the southern terminus of the Continental Divide. There's a little loop around here, and it's really rutted. Video just doesn't do justice to how rough a road is, but you can see how my truck's jostling around here. So here's a little shade structure. And the monument for the Continental Divide, southern terminus, with a bullet hole dead center. And those are my bourbon drinking sunglasses. I have a hat too. Okay, launch the drone. Going to do a little roundabout there. There's the monument, shade structure, and you can see the trail coming off the back of it. I'm kind of new to operating a drone and a little bit herky-jerky here. My buddy up in Canada that's, I don't know, he's probably thinking, God, Benson, you need to do a better job than this. Okay, here we go, up, and we're going to do a 360 and look around the area. The top of my trailer makes a great landing spot. Okay, here we are. We're going to look up north. Again, look at the difference in these two roads. It's amazing. Looking north, we're going to pan around to the east into Mexico. Looks like quite a ranching operation out there. Now we're south and panning west into the U.S. Coming back north again for a full 360 degrees. Okay, so here's a close-up of the monument. Someone in their infinite wisdom decided to defecate on the base of it. You just got to wonder about people sometimes. Also, it took a rifle round dead center here, probably from the other side of the border. I don't think anybody would be stupid enough to shoot it being that close to it. You could get bounced back real easily. The monument took another round from the southeast. Things that make you go, huh. This is our border security. Anybody can come and go here as they please. For my photos, you may have noticed I did have a sidearm on. I also had a rifle in my truck. At no time did I feel I had any concern in making this trip. I only ran into two other people, a husband and wife, Hispanic gentleman that lived in Lordsburg, and they were just extremely nice people. His wife was on the Chamber of Commerce at Lordsburg and just wanted to come down here and fully understand how to get to the southern terminus because it's quite a deal when they're having the mountain bike race and later on in the year when people are starting and finishing up their journey here. They run shuttles from Lordsburg to bring people in here, and it's quite a big deal. This time of year, not so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our trip to the southern terminus of the Continental Divide Trail, the CDT. From here, I'm going to just talk about the journey, the road conditions, fuel consumption, length of travel, and so forth. So if you're probably not going to drive here, you've probably seen enough. But if you're curious, please view on. So this is about 4 miles after leaving the southern terminus. A little bit of sandy technical stuff here, but this is a point where the CDT, the Continental Divide Trail, also crosses the road coming in. You'll see it here in a little bit. From here into the monument, it's kind of technical, but from here up to the agricultural pumping station, the road's pretty good. There you can see the trail crossing Commodore Road here. Now we're at the agricultural pump station again, and taking off. Along the trail here, there's all of these ruts, drainage swales that just prevent you from going fast. You only have 30 yards, maybe 50 yards, sometimes even 100 yards, but then there's a eroded part of the trail that slows you down to next to nothing. I averaged under 10 miles per gallon of diesel fuel, and my truck normally gets 15, 16 miles per gallon in mixed travel, and I don't know, 19 miles per gallon on good highway conditions. Okay, moving along here, I termed this section of road the hairpin, where the road doubles back against itself over this drainage. It's really rough here at the bottom, and I don't know if it's like this all the time. I don't know when they grade the road, but I would imagine the road is sometimes better and sometimes a whole lot worse. So don't base your travel based upon my findings here. Just you know, do some investigation yourself. My trailer here was no problem at all. It's built for off-road. By the way, the brand name is Let's Go Aero. I just purchased it. I made the hard top for it, and I put on the two 5-gallon diesel cans, which I didn't need for this journey. Inside the trailer, I have a inflatable pontoon boat and frame, along with other assorted stuff that I wouldn't carry if I didn't have the room for it. The road here, just like I said, it never allows you to get up any speed. I averaged about 9 miles per gallon, and this stretch of road will just show you that every so often you have a little cut in the road from water. Incidentally, I had about a dozen javelina pigs, wild pigs, that crossed the road in front of me. I wish I could have activated a camera quick enough, but they were hauling. That was kind of amazing. Didn't see any coyotes the whole trip. No coyotes, but I'm sure they're there. The let's see, the distance in and out is, I don't know, probably about 32 33 miles. I don't know exactly. So call it 65 miles in and out. I only got about 9.5 miles per gallon, so not a whole lot of fuel, but only traveling at 8 or 9 miles per hour takes a long time. It's nice to be able to camp. Obviously, if you're in a all-terrain vehicle, side by side with a real nice suspension, you could probably average 35 miles or 40 miles, maybe even 50 miles an hour if you have a hard hat and dress in leathers in case you crash. I wouldn't advise doing the trail that fast, but hey, some of those guys, it's amazing what you can do with those vehicles. A Jeep, probably be able to travel twice as fast as what I'm doing, maybe more. You can see these washes coming down from the hills on the left and washing across the road. Just keeps you from building up any speed at all. We're getting back fairly close to where I camped now. You can see where the dozer pushes rock off to the right. I don't know if they do that intentionally so people have places to camp, or that's just where they have their coffee break. Who knows? But works well for a campsite. Where I camped, it was perfectly level. I didn't have to gerrymander my vehicle around to level it up at all. You can see right here I'm moving along at a pretty good clip. Looking at this again, this is the next morning after camping again on the way out, which was a very windy night, by the way. The buildings you see way up ahead there are the what's labeled the Hatchet Ranch on my navigation system. But the Hispanic gentleman that I ran into earlier told me the name of the owner, and the name is not Hatchet. Another wash here, and there's my friend KTS 2000 40 caliber. Didn't need it. Felt secure the whole trip. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, though. Now we're approaching the four-way on the way out again. After turning right at the four-way on the way out, here's video of crossing that sandy section that I advised you of on the way in. This is the only area that I engaged four-wheel drive. Probably didn't need it, but I didn't want to get bogged down. There's no sense in having issues. I churned my way through this, and it rained about 3 days before I started this, and I can see where after a long dry spell and a fair amount of traffic over this road, this could get real ugly. You're certainly not going through here with a passenger car. An Outback with four-wheel, all-wheel, or four-wheel drive, no problem. But you need some ground clearance, and you're not coming through here with a typical passenger car. At any rate, that kind of wraps it up. I did incur a little bit of damage. One of the brackets holding my diesel fuel cans popped a weld, and I had to secure the can with a strap, but that wasn't a problem. The rest of the trip out from here is kind of boring and no big deal, so we'll stop it right here. I hope you enjoyed the information. If you did, please subscribe and like, and safe overland travels. Thank God COVID's over. Badia, that's all, folks.